All right. So, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
So, for anyone listening to this, Lidiya, as you can probably tell from the accent, is from Ukraine. That's the hot topic at the moment. I mean, look, we can go into it, or it's completely up to you. So, this is new for everyone else listening. It's just a conversation. We're just getting we actually really haven't really got to know each other besides seeing each other just at Master Networks, having a little talk and passing. And we're meant to actually have what we call in Master Networks is a face-to-face. But I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just have a chat.
Right.
Yeah. Just don't worry about the mic. Pretend it's not even here. Well, make sure it's still close so that everyone can hear you and hear your amazing accent. But yeah, I guess what starts with, I'm always intrigued about what brought you to America.
I want to live better life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what was it that what brought you to America that was different from Ukraine? Because I always thought Ukraine was kind of cool. I might be wrong.
No, Ukraine is cool, and it's a really rich country. But still, kind of, our government probably was still kind of under Russian culture, maybe. So I was working as a teacher, and at that time, like 20 years ago, my salary was $50 per month.
$50?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really hard to live on that salary.
Yeah. And is $50 obviously $50 in Florida won't get you anywhere.
Right.
Does $50 in Ukraine get you a little bit further, or is it pretty much the same?
It's like gasoline, the same price, and food is cheaper. And I would say that I was living with parents, and so I didn't have to pay for my apartment and food. Like I buy some food, but that's it. So it was maybe some little clothes. But if I want to live by my own, it's not enough money.
And is that normal for teachers to earn $50 a month?
Now they earn probably 200 or 300.
It's progress.
Yeah, but also
still a lot to go.
Still, yeah, it's not enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you have friends that are still in Ukraine? Well, before the craziness, did you have friends that were still teaching in Ukraine that you kept in contact with?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I have my friend, and she's a teacher, elementary school, and it was crazy when the war started. So it was Thursday. They were saying, no, we go online, and they plan to go online on Monday, but they are still not.
You mean with the internet?
Teaching kids. Yeah. They want this.
Because they took down I've been so out of the loop with all of it. So if I ask any questions that are too much, let me know. Because I'm especially with, I try and keep in contact, up to date, but it's it's a lot these days. You go going from COVID to this. I couldn't imagine what Ukraine must be going through, where it's first they're finally coming out of COVID, and then all of a sudden COVID's out and Russia's in. It's
right.
But was there a lead up to this? Because I've heard that they kind of knew something like that was in brewing for weeks up to that, and that China apparently even said hey, can you not invade until after the Olympics, which is wild.
Right.
Was there warning? Was it out of nowhere? What were the Ukrainian people like?
I think that was that our country wants to go to NATO. That's kind of speeded up that war.
And what's, like I said, I'm so ignorant with this. Because NATO is a European, a support network politically in a way, is it?
Yeah, and America is there too. So if anyone get in war, so America is and it's those countries who's in NATO will have to go to war.
Got
so
you.
That's why Ukraine was always worried that Russia will take them. That's why we want to go to NATO. then we will be like safe.
So Russia's in a way trying to rush the takeover of Ukraine to stop them from getting into NATO.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I feel like I'm getting a history lesson as well today. Gosh, so what's it like? Like, do you have family, friends over there still?
Yes, my mom is still there. My brother's still there because men from 18 till 60 cannot leave the country. So they have to be there. So my brother's wife with kids now in Germany, and their kids, like adults, in Poland. Some of my friends like moved to Poland, to Czech, but some still there. I'm from West Ukraine. We kind of safe, more safe, I will say, that Kiev or east part of Ukraine. So, but it's like they could have like 3-4 times a day siren, and then even during the nighttime they have to go to some schools like basement or to hide it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have because my understanding is like the women and children are able to get out of Ukraine. Is your family of the females and the kids, are they planning on leaving, or are they planning on staying? Like with the West, is it still far enough to not be too concerned?
Yeah, but they can bombard it like they did in first night. The West Ukraine, they put rockets there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But it happened like first night. So none from that time, it was never bombarded again. But when they shoot the rocket, so siren goes on a like big cities, then everybody like start to hide like to the basement or somewhere, because we don't know where it's go.
Yeah.
So they have like 10 minutes to get out of house.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that'd be horrible. So what's with Poland, is Poland, my understanding was like Poland was still very close with Russia as well. Is that correct? Or are they part of NATO?
Poland is part of NATO. Yes.
Okay, so it's a good place for people to escape to.
Right.
And Poland's next to Ukraine.
Yes.
Gosh, I sound so ignorant right now, don't I? I just don't want to get anything like real, like messed up, because I'm second down on myself with everything right now. But so how long have you been in America for now?
20 years.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah. And you moved here with your husband?
No, I met my husband here in Chicago.
Really? Mm-hmm. Where's his accent from?
Polish. He's Polish.
So you traveled to the other side of the world and married a neighbor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. And you guys met in Chicago. When did you move from Chicago to Florida?
6 years ago.
Okay. So it wasn't with like during all the craziness in the last 2 years.
Right.
What brought you guys to here instead of staying in Chicago?
Taxes, property taxes. This is the first thing. And the weather. It's the second. My husband begged me like for probably 5 years, let's move it. And it was hard for me to quit job and start here from nothing, we'll say. But then it was time for me, like during the winter, it was probably 2 or 3 days that has sun. And it's just, that's it. Like everything depressed, all people depressed and just running. You have to have 2-3 jobs to pay everything.
Yeah.
Because it was all taxes, other taxes, not only property.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you get me depressed. I'm going to Chicago next week for like 3 days. I'm not exactly moving, so taxes will be fine. But so it's really that wild, because I know like coming from Australia, you hear so many little blips of what it's like over here. Like we forget that really like US is like 50 different countries under the one banner. Because like you go to California, it's so different to Florida. Like they both have beaches, but they're so different. And then you go to like, my in-laws, like I said, West Virginia, completely different again. Like you may as well be in a different country when you go to West Virginia coming from Florida. But so Chicago, I always saw Chicago as like the Bulls, the basketball team, Jordan, deep dish pizzas, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the last year, I've learned so much about Chicago that I didn't know. Do you still have friends and everything up there? Do you visit Chicago often?
We visit like once a year, but all our friends visit us like really often. So, and we are happy
Yeah.
to see them. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Florida's a place to be right now in particular.
Right.
It's beautiful here. But what else? I actually wanted to talk about what you do because I'm big into water, as you know. I pump Liquid Death with my father-in-law Steve. So embarrassed by this because he's always like, "It looks like you're drinking a beer," and I'm like, "That's the fun part."
Right.
But so you do Coral Club. Run me like, what is Coral Club? You did your presentation obviously 2 weeks ago. Really enjoyed it, by the way. Because it is true. Like, people have no idea about hydration. They think if they're having a liquid, particularly pop, soda, whatever they want to call it here, it's one thing I found interesting, and this is before I hand the mic to you. One thing with consuming sugar at that exponential rate, there's actually been a lot of liver disease happening now, where liver disease used to be from alcohol. Now liver disease is coming from the exponential influx of sugar going into and through the liver, which is just crazy and makes a lot of sense. And I had a guy in West Virginia. I got a bet with him that he has to lose 35 pounds and keep it off by Christmas Day this year. And if he does, he gets $1,000. If he doesn't, he pays me 500. His first step was cut out soda and drink more water. And I think he lost like 5 pounds in a month just from doing that.
Right.
But with Coral Club, what is it that, besides tap water and everything else, what is the draw and what makes it interesting and what got you into it?
I was always interested in water, like quality of water, and I knew that alkaline environment, cancer cell and any bacteria doesn't grow. So I was always with this cancer now that every second.
Point that at your face.
Yeah. Now, like statistics said, like every second person will get cancer. So I was worried about my family.
Yeah.
And when I found out, my friend called me and introduced me to Coral Club, and they said that they have coral, like really coral from Japanese island, Okinawa, and that coral make water alkaline. Like you added this sachet to water, 60 ounces of water. In 5 minutes, that water has become alkaline.
And what's the benefit of alkaline water versus like a tap water?
Alkaline water has a higher pH, and with eating sugar, like you mentioned before, we have a lot of food with sugar, filled with sugar. So it will balance our body that cancer cells would not grow in us. We have all of them, but they are sleeping. And when we give them bad environment, they start to grow. So that's why, like, to bring the balance to bring our body higher in pH. So, like, because our blood has 7.5 pH, so we try to stay above 7, like our body. And when we drink sweet, our body become acidic. So to bring that pH level to the neutral, like above 7, we need to drink alkaline water.
Got you. And so that helps with cancer cells. So, because the difference is there's alkaline water and there's acidic water. Is that correct? Is that the
alkaline, it's like pH. Yeah, the higher, like alkaline is up to pH up to 14, and acidic is like 1 through 7 is 6. 7 is a neutral pH.
7's neutral.
Yeah.
And as it gets, so is there a benefit from going 8, 9, 10 with water, or is it something that becomes more detrimental when it gets too alkaline?
Yeah, when it's too alkaline, 14, like then it's better drink like 9.5 till 10. So
Good. Okay. And with, I guess the opposite is acidic. What type of drinks that we consume are typically acidic?
all like Coke and Sprite, it's acidic, and bubbly water also not so good.
Yeah.
Actually.
That's what. So I've heard that the carbonation of water can actually, and I might be completely botching this. I don't know if I'm making this up or if I heard it somewhere, but I heard that carbonated water, even the mineral water that has carbonation in it, like San Pellegrino, even though it tastes amazing, that the carbonation part of it actually decalcifies our bones because our bodies have to extract calcium from our bones to flush it out. Is that true, or am I making that up? Okay, I've stumped you as well. I'm just gonna have a think. I'm on the screen going true or not.
Yeah.
But no, that was one thing that got me off. Besides the sugar, like I stopped even having that because I heard that it decalcifies your bones, and I was like, well, I mean, the only thing now that I'll have that's carbonated would be a Celsius in the morning because it's I need that caffeine hit. But I'm now going on to the flat version, which is I've still got the energy from it for the morning minus that. So yeah, that's a little fun fact that I found interesting. But so with the coral, how does it make it alkaline?
This is white coral sango because it's in the world there's like 2,500 different corals, and only this white coral sango used in medicine. So it just changing when it's in touch with water, it changes structure of water.
Okay. So is it similar to? I'm imagining it'd be similar to trees. Trees change the air to oxygen, so it must be something to do with how they process the water to keep themselves alive. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And because I've seen some crazy before and afters that you showed at the presentation where not only people think about hydration. I'm speaking from personal experience. People don't really get it. They're like, oh, whatever. Like eating less calories, people get it. I'll lose weight. Exercising, people are like, yeah, I get it. I'll lose weight. But with water, what have you seen with losing weight or even just health? Has there been a shift with clients that you've had with just the consumption of the Coral Club water? And water in general? What have you noticed with that?
Yeah, when people start to drink water, the blood pressure starts to be like regulating. So whoever has problem with blood pressure, then they feel right away. So the skin difference, but you have to also drink a lot of water. So it's not like your normal.
What would you say is a lot?
A lot. It's first you have to weigh yourself, divide by 2, and then, for example,
that's pounds. If anyone's listening from Australia, where it's kilograms.
Okay, kilograms. It will be 30-40 milligrams on 1 kilogram.
Okay. So 30. You mean 30 milliliters? So one to. I'm trying to do the math real quickly. I think it's 1 ounce of water, which is 30 milliliters to every kilogram. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And for my Australian people, if you're listening to that, so in America, it's if you're with pounds,
divide by 2, and then that much ounces of water you have to drink. Like if you 120 divide by 2, 60. So I have to drink minimum 60 ounces of water per day.
Got you. So what happens if it's hotter? Do you
if it's hotter, you can drink more, but not less.
Yeah. Okay. So it's if you're exercising, add a bit more. Everyone's trying to find like a crazy mathematical equation for everything these days. But do you find if someone goes to the gym, do you recommend that they add? Well, I'm trying to think what a liter is, 32 ounces, or is it a number, or do you just say just make sure you're mainly hitting that minimum each day?
I will say if you go to do exercise, you have to kind of 1.5 time whatever your minimum is. You have to drink it, because with sweat, you lose your water. So you have to drink a lot to refill it. Otherwise, your body will take from yourself. So from skin, from organs, will take it, like from bones or those in the spine.
Oh, the nerves? Or the
Not
cartilage?
the nerves,
Cartilage.
the cartilage, yes. So that's why if people doesn't drink a lot of water, their cartilage starts to be thinner, because water goes to body, because body taking it. If you don't have, like, if they don't drink enough of water, so body start to take from organs.
Yeah. And we need them. We definitely need them.
Yes.
Because I think what I drink here at the moment in Florida, if I'm training, it's like a gallon of water a day, which is, I don't know,
Good.
what's that in ounces? I know it's 4 liters in liters, but ounces is
It's
like 120? 32, yeah, 120-ish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because there's a lot. There's like exercise plus how hot it is here.
Right.
Like even now, like we're in here, I don't know about you, I'm like getting warm in this room already because there's no fan, because I can't have a fan because of the sound. I'm like, man, this place is heating up.
Yes, it is.
So you typically will have 60 ounces, which is 2 liters. And do you find, like, I'm always fascinated too by like the techniques that work to make people drink. Some people have timers, some have like like I found, for example, if I have these bad boys, because they're half, and unless they're 17 ounces, I'll have one every half an hour easy. You give me like one of those, there's how it has like drink this by this time and drink this by that time. Can't do it. I will not get through 16 ounces in a day. So do you have any like hacks that you do? Is there like a not a ritual, but like a pattern that keeps you for that?
Yeah. In the morning, before I eat or brush teeth, or like, I drink half a liter of water. And I even, I have this coral water and put a little bit boiling water, make it like a little bit warm, because our body inside warmer than we have our temperature. So it has to be like cleansing. So I drank half a liter of water to cleanse everything. And then in 20 minutes, I have my supplements. So with another glass of water. So I already like 750 milliliters done. So almost, not half, but almost half of my daily norm.
Yeah.
So, and then you have to drink before eat. Then it's better, because when you eat, then this acid in stomach. So you don't want to make like a soup, like you don't want to dissolve this acid. So you want drink before, and then like in half an hour, then eat it. And then digestion will be faster. And after eat like 1-2 hours, then you can drink also water.
Interesting. So okay, I'm probably doing something wrong then. So don't drink an hour or two after you eat.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Because acid will be more concentrated and more work on your food to digest.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. All right. So I've been doing one thing wrong. I drink while I eat. So that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have to change that.
It just may be little to kind of like help your food go through.
Interesting. Okay. And all right. So do you notice anything when people start drinking more water, that is there like a trickle down effect of other habits, like they eat less poor foods, or is it?
Yes, they definitely eat less, because when they drink water, your stomach already kind of like filled in, right? You don't have hunger so much. So, and you're losing this weight because you don't eat a lot too. Like you started to eat less because you are not so hungry.
The other thing too, I'm actually getting thirsty. All this talk of water. one thing that I noticed when I used to be a personal trainer was, I'm just going to turn that down a bit. I noticed that one of my clients, this is one of those funny things, like you learn sometimes through your clients, they're not just learning from you, but one of them, every time she was hungry, she'd have a glass of water and then she's like, oh, I'm not hungry. I'm actually just thirsty, because our receptors in our mouth, hence right now, I could eat food, but I know just over years of being conscious of, I know I'm actually thirsty. What's like, I don't know how much information you can give, but what's like the craziest transformation you have seen just by people increasing their water intake with Coral Club? Like loss of weight.
Loss of weight,
Yeah,
a lot.
How
yes.
much? What's the biggest amount you've ever seen?
It's hard to say just on the water, because people start to drink water and feeling better, but then they started to use our programs that actually we want them to clean their body.
Okay.
So because with all this outside environment, like what we need food, we need air, and drink.
Yeah.
So drink, we can choose what we can do. Air, we cannot, unless we will go to mountains and be living there.
Yeah.
So
Or a secluded island.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yes. And food, we have to choose what we eat. And with food, it's hard because when this environment, I don't think food has a lot of vitamins and minerals, whatever our body needs. So, and have a lot of toxins. So that's why with Coral, our philosophy of our club is we have to hydrate you, then clean you from toxins, from parasites, and to clean your gut.
Microbiome?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yes. So, and then after those 3 cleansing, then I see a lot of changes in people. A lot of losing a lot of weight and skin better, and even someone who has disease, they are just gone.
Really?
So, because you regulate your body and like all bad stuff go out from you.
Well, that was like the thing that you shared. So I've got I have rosacea and psoriasis. Like those things are always like, they know it's an autoimmune problem, but it's so hard to pinpoint what it is. One thing I've noticed, at least since coming to Florida, I actually have stopped eating before midday, just by accident, really. Mm-hmm. But it's seemed to have cleared up my face so much. Like it always looked like I have like I had like red things down my eyes here. For anyone listening, I'm just like indicating under my eyes. The annoying thing though about it, I didn't care that it was there. It was that everyone would tell me I was sunburnt. Mm-hmm. Everyone would come up to like, I've had even like, Steve in our group. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, did you have sun this week? I'm like, no, it's not something. He goes, yeah, no, you've got sunglass marks. I'm like, it's a skin issue. And then I hate that because now they're like, oh, I've been rude. And it's like, but I can't avoid that conversation. Mm-hmm. So now like by having more water, because I'm only drinking water besides the Celsius that I have in the morning when I work out, it seems to have just cleared it up. And it just all came down to hydration and probably stress. If I'm stressed, it flares up like a little bit. If I drink alcohol, which I don't anymore, I just drink from a can that looks like alcohol. But because I remember there was a photo of the photo that you showed at the showcase. Yeah. That was wild.
Psoriasis, yes.
Yeah, so he had psoriasis as well.
Yes. So, and none of the doctor could help him. And he's like, that's it. I want to do natural way. And he went through few times through those cleansing system because his body was so toxic. That's why it's put on skin. So that's why you need those more program. But now he's good.
And that was across, I think you said 60, 90 days?
90 days, those programs, yeah. Actually 2.5 months. 30 days toxins program, then parasites 30 days, and 15 days gut cleansing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot. Like, but it's really just putting your body back to how it should be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And your body starts to work properly because we are like amazing machines. Like when we hot, we sweat, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Just, so.
That's the thing that's kind of annoying, and that with what is it with doctors, and this is like medicine is real good.
Mm-hmm.
I hate people that are like all or nothing with it, but one thing with the personal training that really frustrated me was the amount of times people would go with an issue, and the doctor would be like, have this pill or this, or there's nothing you can do, it's how it is. And I'm like, exercise, cut out the crap, have more water,
Right.
do all the stuff that we all know, but it's a quote unquote hard. Like, it's quote unquote hard. Like there's this great meme, which someone shared it to me once, and it was this lady who was like, severely overweight, and she's in the gutter crying, and like the words were, I've tried everything except for diet and exercise.
Right.
And it's so common, which I don't
It's
know
so
about you.
simple. Like you have to start from that.
Yeah. Well, it's the environment, like you said, like environment as well, but it's also the environment you can change. Like one thing, I hate this idea of self-control. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather change my environment because that's easier than changing my self-control. So I just don't buy. I'll drink water before I go shopping, so I'm not like, don't be hungry. Or I order it when I'm like, I will order from Whole Foods, so get it delivered. So I can't come across bad food for starters. But then when it's not here, I don't want it. I just,
Yes.
like, I mean, I'll probably want it, but it's because it's not here. I'm like, I'm not getting in the car and driving 15 minutes to get, like, I'm too lazy to get bad food. So knowing my weaknesses, which is if it's there, I'll eat it. Like when the in-laws are here, woo, I eat way more chocolate than I should because they love it and it's sitting there. And like, those moments where, like, because I'm not used to eating it, as I'm eating it, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're like, what are you? Oh, it's so good. You're an idiot. I'm like a little schizophrenic kid.
Yeah, the same with me. I'm like, when I go to store, I don't buy, like, I like to buy some like chocolate or some cakes, but I just don't do it. And then you don't have it home and you don't eat it.
It's so much easier.
Yes.
And it's hard 'cause Stacy, she has a sweet tooth. And like some of the stuff she gets is really good. Like she buys Oreos all the time. She's now given me permission to, no, you can't buy them.
Okay,
Like,
that's good.
I know. Because for ages, I'm like, why do you keep buying these? Like, they're not small. Like, if she bought like I love Reese's Buttercups. I love them. But I'll only ever buy the one. You know how you can buy one cup?
Yeah.
I'll just buy one. Because I know if I bring 5, 6, 7, whatever the big packets are, I'm not eating just one. And same with the Oreos. She actually said to me last month, she goes, I should have listened to you. Next time, just slap my hand. And literally we were there yesterday. And she starts walking past the Oreo aisle, I just grab her hip. I'm like, nope, no chance. And she's like, seriously? Oh, yeah, that you told. Okay. And I just literally, I'm like, it would have been comical to watch. I'm just pushing her past the aisle. And she's just like, come on, man. But yeah, it's because that's the thing. In that moment, she wanted one.
Right.
I can guarantee it's not just her that would have had those. I would have eaten half of them. And now I've had half a packet of, they're the 4-row ones. Like, I'm not talking, like, there's like 40 to 50 in there. I would have eaten, between yesterday and today, I'll probably be 25 Oreos deep now. But it's not there, so I don't have them. But yeah, junk food. Ugh. It's so good, but so bad.
Yeah.
So with the, because it's not just the water that you do, it's the, because I thought it was, the whole time I just thought it was water. And as well, like, again, I think people should, like, if you're struggling with getting it, the guidance of keeping that with water intake, definitely, like, especially with the alkaline stuff, it's super interesting because I'm so naive. I'm just like, water's water.
Right.
Until I realized, like, because tap water in Sydney, Australia wasn't that bad. Whereas I know, like, definitely state by state, if you're in Michigan, apparently that water, like, Lake Michigan water is terrible. West Virginia apparently is terrible. What are your thoughts on, because there's a big movement now of reverse osmosis water. Do you know anything about that?
I heard some. So it's a filter. So, but it doesn't give you pH. An alkaline, it gives you pH. That's why I'm more. So I will put this filter and then have the filter water and use coral.
Yeah.
Anyway, because you have pH and you have 63 minerals there. It was
63.
Like 63 in calcium and magnesium. Yeah, and vitamin C. Also because vitamin C
is in water?
in this coral, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because vitamin C is like a card to your cells. So it's open door to your cells. Like if you eat some vitamins, take also vitamin C because it's bring all those your good stuff to cells.
Oh, so it allows it to the uptake really, because I've heard that in vitamin K. Is that correct? There's like two, but vitamin C, yeah. Okay, so if I could be having other vitamins, but if I'm not having vitamin C, I'm losing a chunk of it really.
You're losing chunk, yeah.
Okay, wow, this is interesting stuff. Vitamin C, calcium, magnesium. Magnesium is a good one. Yeah. Wow, so it's got 59 milligrams of calcium for every 8 ounces. And this is an 8-ounce sachet? Or how much would this cover in water?
60 ounces. One sachet will cover 60 ounces of water.
I like how you say
like this
sachet.
one. Sachet?
I like how you say it. It sounded very sachet. I want a sachet now. It's fascinating that people don't really realize how much hydration helps.
A lot, yeah.
Like, because I know a lot of people I know have kidney stones, and I'd venture to say that 90% of the issue with the kidney stones is dehydration.
Yeah. We have doctor, her name is Olga Butakova. She is a really big doctor and professor. So she said like 95% of all illnesses, it's dehydration.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that it was obviously habitual, but dehydration's the main factor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because your blood will be thicker when you don't drink, and then heart, and then other organs. So it just starts.
So 95%, and it's so wild. Like, especially like coming back to the kidney stone thing, I've heard how painful it is. The thing that baffles me is like it's something so simple of like if I had that much pain, and it's like, hey, all you have to do is just drink water, I'd be like, okay, that's it. But
right.
It just seems like that people have this thing that's stopping them with whatever it is taking like they'll take a pill or something else.
But they will not drink water. And they will say like, oh, I don't used to. Okay, but now just start to if you are worried about your health. Because you can go till some point and then just like all illnesses starts to become.
Yeah. So hydration, 95%. Because, okay, I'm gonna have to bully at least Stace. Stace is getting very good. Sort
That's
of.
good.
She's up to, I guess, the equivalent of 30. When we first started dating, it was like nothing. It was like nothing. And like I'm having, 100 plus a day. And she's, I struggle. And so I've got her up to 30 ounces. She got herself up to 30 ounces. I'm like, yes. And she goes, it's really good. And I go, good, you're halfway. I'm like, you're halfway to the goal. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, it's a lot. But what would so she'd be 125 divided by, she's 60 ounces. Okay. Maybe once she's listening to this one, she'll be more compelled to have 60 ounces. And does this change the flavor at all?
No, the water actually like softer probably, and you drink more. It's not like blow you.
Yeah, bloated.
Yeah, bloated. You don't feel bloated. Yeah, and some people say I like how it tastes, I don't feel anything. Like my neighbor had have high sugar level, so she tasted salty
That makes sense.
on the beginning. Yeah, but then it's kind of like then
Yeah.
her taste is like was okay.
Yeah, your taste buds will get probably a little bit more used to it for sure. Because it's true. Like I can taste. The reason why I like it out of the can is because I didn't realize I was accustomed to the plastic taste that I was drinking from plastic bottles, and the whole family thinks I'm full of crap. Like they're like, all right, and we did a blind test, but then they all botched the thing, and I still maintain I could taste the plastic, but they don't believe me still. But all the things that leach into the water also affect the taste. And so I'd imagine, like, because do you just get straight out of the tap and then add the alkaline, or do you filter
Yeah,
it
I
all?
have filter. Yeah, I have at home filter, and I put water and then add coral.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it has to be filtered water.
Yeah. Because what do they add? They add a bunch of stuff, don't they, to water, like fluoride.
Fluoride.
Yeah, which is hilarious. It is hilarious. Like the fact that they go, well, it's good for your teeth, and I'm like, if it's on your teeth, not if you swallow it. Like that's why we spit out toothpaste.
Right.
If it was good to swallow, we'd swallow toothpaste. Like,
Right.
why would you?
Yeah.
But that took me years to figure out, because I was like under that sort of belief. I'm like, oh, that's why people have good teeth here. I'm like, well, no, there's a lot of factors that go into the good teeth, like good dental health, healthcare. I clean my teeth. I mean, that's probably bigger than just drinking water from a tap.
Right.
So you strip it complete. Would you say you like strip the water completely, or is it just like a basic filter like Brita? I'm trying to like figure out.
I have like four different filters.
4. What are those for?
I have to ask my husband probably.
Is he the water?
Yeah.
He's the water king.
Yeah.
I think my wife would get along with him because she's the same. Like when I first met her, it's in our vlog that we filmed of my our wedding, and my 2 friends that came from interstate. They walk in and they go, "What the is that?" And I go, "My wife's a water snob." It's funny because now I'm a water snob, but she had like the reverse osmosis, goes through this filter, and then it comes through. Now she wants to do some spirally thing. I'm like, that one's a stretch for me. Like there's some spiraling thing to mimic the water going through the mountains. I don't know. Do you have that?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool. She saw
But
one thing.
It's
It's an interesting concept, but at what point I'm like, all right, at what point do you just not just move next to a river and just drink that water? You know?
Right. But with plastic, like you mentioned before, my husband used to work on with trucks, like truck driver, and he was bringing water. So he said, "Do you know what temperature is in that truck?" It's like 100 probably, because it's no cooler for water. They don't bring with cooler water, so it's boiling there. When it's boiling, plastic and water. For sure that piece of plastic goes to water. So
Yeah, it's
then we're
extracting it.
drinking.
Yeah, I heard that with because that stopped me drinking a lot of water. I first heard it with Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola, that aspartame or whatever they use for the fake sugar in it, something where it's like if it heats to 38 degrees Celsius, bear in mind our body is 37.8 or something like that, like real close. It turns it slightly like a toxin, like a real bad toxin. But when you think about it, when they're delivering those bottles on the trucks, they're getting a lot hotter than 38 degrees Celsius, which I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit, but that stopped me drinking Coca-Cola years and years ago. Then when I got to like, I started thinking about the water, like what you said. It's, yeah. There's have you heard there's this study going on at the moment where it's like a gradual demasculation of men through plastics in foods and waters. I've heard it on a few podcasts, and I'm going to try and vaguely explain it because I'll if I try and get technical, I'll just screw it up. But there's something to do with all the little pieces of plastic, and I'm not saying like they're pieces. It's more just like, the chemicals within the plastics. Everything now has it, like not just the water, not just even the foods, because obviously they're packaged in plastic that absorbs it. If you're microwaving a plastic, like don't get me started about microwaves, stay away from them. But there's basically everything we consume now, the amount of which the chemicals from plastics we're consuming, there's something that's happening with men where it's something to do with like the length of their taint, where like the difference between a male and a female is the length of their taint, and they've done studies where it's starting to shrink in newborns. So men, like boys now, have this shorter taint. So there's something that's happening with the plastic consumption. Obviously, when you're pregnant as well, you're still eating the same foods. Like unless you're going to go out in the mountains and find completely untouched land, it's a scary, unavoidable thing because
Right.
what do you do? Like,
That's why, sorry, that's why you can do a cleansing program from Coral Club because it is cleaning you. So I know we eat it, but we can't avoid all those, like you said, plastic things.
or at least just minimize it as well. Like,
Right.
I
You
think
have to.
there's that mentality now where it's like if it's not 100%, I'm not going to do it. You're like, and it's like, ugh, like if you can make your life 20% better.
Right.
Heck, some people if they had a 10% better life in terms of just cutting out 10% and introducing water instead of soda, it's a trickle down effect. It really is just like, I think people forget that it's like their bad habits. They didn't start there. Like it was this slow, it started off one thing and then it was another, then like a habit builds another. But definitely what happens when you're having water or anything else, it's like you start feeling good and you want to feel good. You want to feel like a little bit better, each time. And like if people just start, like I think it'd be really cool to see more of the examples of your stuff, which would be cool to see. Even like, I mean, with your presentation, was that the first one you've done?
Yes.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I've actually, I filmed it. I got to give you the content. It was somewhere here. I've saved it somewhere. I'll give it to you at the end of this.
Thank you.
But it really was cool to see what people, how they perceived what it was. Because again, people just think water, like I said, and they're like, oh, whatever. Which is why I was trying to also help give some extra pointers, because like it's a sort of like double team the group. Because I was like, people just don't understand the trickle down effect of that. But more examples for sure would be so cool to see, because definitely that face one with the guy with psoriasis, like the amount of confidence that guy must have relative to before. Like, again, speaking from personal experience with my rosacea, like when I don't have people pointing it out, and like I like to think I'm a pretty confident guy, but when people go like, hey, what's the fuck's on that? What's on your face? It wears thin pretty quick, let alone like, and mine's minor in comparison to what his was like before.
Yeah.
So like seeing those stories is so cool.
And we have thousands of stories like that and pictures, like thousands. Yeah.
That, definitely. Like, do you like share that stuff on social media? And
sometimes, yes.
Because that's the biggest trick.
Probably because people doesn't realize what it can be. Like, okay, some water, okay, supplements, a lot of supplements, but how it can change the life, and especially for people who has problem. That is,
And it's funny because it does seem so simple.
Yes, it is. Just get rid of whatever you have bad stuff.
Do you find a lot of skeptics come in with that? Like they're like, you're just trying to sell me something that's just too good to be true.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so funny because this one is one that's basic in science. Drink more water.
Yes. And you said with rosacea?
Rosacea. Yeah.
Rosacea. Yeah, I had too. Like I had it's like genetic. My grandpa had and my mom has. It's like all here red and nose. So when I start to this, like when I was on that program, like after probably a week, I noticed that it's like
Cleared up.
clear out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
In a week.
Yeah. And the third day, actually, when I started program, that detox program, on the third day at night, like at evening, I had so much energy, like energy came in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with that. So, and many people it's different days, like it's depend how much toxins you have. So, but then they have like really a lot of energy and skin changes right away. And of course, losing weight. So people start to feel good.
Yeah. Well, it'd be also like part of that whole ecosystem is because they're drinking more water, they're probably going to be eating less sugar, less carbs.
And we have diet. Like you have to stay on a diet if you want to really feel changes.
Yeah. Well, if they be also like in ketosis in a way, like that's one thing. Before, like I had lunch, well, technically breakfast, I had a steak, but that was all I had. Because one thing I noticed is through the day now, if I had a burrito yesterday from Chipotle, though Moe's, I like Moe's better. I needed a nap. I needed to have a 20-minute nap, and like it wasn't unhealthy in terms of like it was literally just bit of steak, rice, guacamole, and like the vegetables. But I needed to sleep because my body just has been like, all right, now we need to go in digestion mode and just cool down. But I haven't been like, that was a one-off. Normally I don't have any carbs until dinner when I can go to sleep straight after.
Right.
But that's probably another thing that's impacting what you're seeing with the guys and the men and late women with the energy is that they're starting, because they're cutting out that all those foods that require a lot of consumption and digestion.
Right.
That now they're in that ketosis phase that they're probably just like, oh, what's happening? And it's funny, like that's really what we want. You want to be able to have more energy. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into this that I think, yeah, if you spoke more about that, man, because the hydration thing is like, it's for people we don't get it. Even me, like, I mean, if I didn't have to drink water and I could drink soda, I probably would, you know, I probably would. I love that rush. But
right. Like my friend yesterday, I asked, she started the program and she's like, oh, I have a headache. Did you drink water? Yeah, I drink tea. I'm like, tea is a food. Water is a water. Then she's like, okay. Because, yeah, when you don't drink water, you start to have headaches.
Yeah.
That's also one thing.
That's a big one. And again, it's like, I'm just amazed that doctors don't recommend it. You know, like, it doesn't seem like, at least from my personal experiences that I've heard, they don't, like I was a personal trainer. I haven't gone and studied anything, but people would tell me that the first thing about how much water you drink. But it doesn't seem like doctors seem to ask that. They're great. If you got a viral infection, a bacterial infection, hit up a doctor.
Right.
But, well, geez, that's unprofessional. Probably should turn that off. It's the beauty of this place. It's just off the cuff. What was I saying? I forgot now. Oh, hydration doctors. Yeah, I'm just fascinated they don't suggest water. But I don't know. We need more people talking about water. I guess there's no money for a doctor in suggesting water.
Because they don't learn probably at school. They learn how to treat disease and not how to prevent disease.
True. That's a big one. Well, I guess if everyone was hydrated, 95% of jobs would go. Because there'd be 95%.
Yep.
There'd be no more problems to solve.
A lot of problems will be dissolved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because I've got Dr. Michelle on tomorrow, And she was saying, in the video we shot for her, it was like, she was talking about that. I think the word's communicable. It's a real confusing word. When she said it, I was like, phew, I had to Google that and dictionary it. But yeah, the fact that 95% of disease and illness is preventable is wild. But all you have to do is have 60 ounces of water. Hey, it's cool. All right. What else has been happening? Surely something's been happening exciting in life.
My son in Poland. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
He wants to be a professional soccer player.
Wow.
And soccer a little bit on a higher level in Poland than here in USA. So he's just 17. So he went to Poland last August when he was 16. And he lived in, it's like soccer academy. Mm-hmm. So he's going to Polish school for half a day. Then he has practice for like 3 hours in the middle of the day. And then he do English school online. So.
And how? So 16. So he's moved over there. Wow. So
he's still in high school.
Yeah. How is that letting him go?
Oh, he does high school online.
No, how is it with you letting him leave home?
Oh my gosh, no.
Some tears?
It was, yeah. But it just, he tried.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see if he want to be there or here.
How does that work over there? Because I knew one guy that lived in Barcelona when he was 17. Sounded like he had a great time. But how long, is there like what's the first thing that he has to do? It's like, is there a recruitment process? And then is there a scholarship going on over there?
So he's practicing with his team, and then like a lot of coaches from professional soccer looking, and maybe he will have a contract. I don't know, scholarship, it's more here scholarship. Over there, they are picking you to play professional, and they don't actually, kind of care if you have college or something. You are in soccer.
Okay.
It's not like, it's different than here. Yeah.
It is life.
Yes. So they are like, you are professional here. Then you have like 3 times practice and, kind of.
So is he professional at the moment, or is he?
No, he is he is in this high league or first league, like top league. They are junior. So, and he will be probably like close to summer. He will travel and kind of show himself. And if someone will like him, then he will sign contract. It's like, yeah. So if not, maybe he will go another year because he's still young, and we'll see.
And so if he gets picked up, is that then like he's paid as well as a professional?
Yes.
Woo.
Contract, it's a money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be really neat. Like, so he's 16.
Now 17.
Oh, he's 17 now?
Yeah, this January turned 17, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so once that happens, so because the football in Europe is crazy money, but also just crazy. It's like a religion over there. Like, I've seen videos of fights between fans. It's like, it's so foreign to me, because I'm just like, for me, it's like, if I'm not in the team, I don't really care. Like, maybe it's a selfish thing or something, but if I'm not in the team, I've never been able to connect with that. So seeing these fans where it's like they cry if they lose, and they say we lost, and like they got it's almost like this generational hand down. Like, my father followed this team, and my father's father followed this team, and it's like basically it is a religion. Is there any particular team that he's hoping to be part of, or is it just like he just wants to play?
It's no particular team. Yeah, he just wants to play, and we'll see. And money is there kind of bigger than here. and it's his dream. He's very smart, and you always thought he will be a lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. He said that, like he said, "Oh, I will be a good lawyer because if he wanted something, like he will put you to that position that you will say yes, it makes sense."
Ah, he's a negotiator, huh?
Yes, he will like put you to corner. Then
If he's like that, then I mean, you probably won't like this, but he should read that book I always tell you to read, The Never Split the Difference.
okay.
If he reads that book, I mean, look, you'll never win with him ever again, but it'll help him a lot, because that book is oh man, it changed my life. But so is he studying law over there at the meantime? Like, is he studying, or he's just focusing on soccer?
He's focusing on soccer and do this homeschooling because he's finishing high school.
Ah, okay. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's learning English.
English, financial literacy, math, and history,
Okay.
and marine science.
Marine science.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a real tangent. Here I am hearing a lawyer and then marine. Like he's going to be a lawyer for fish or something?
No, he used to be, he want to be lawyer in some points, but now he just want to be soccer player.
Soccer.
Yeah.
That is cool. I'll link you up as well to get him. He probably already might do some of this, but there's a guy called Knees Over Toes Guy on Instagram. He does a lot of stuff for knee strength, and knee strength with soccer in particular, like ACL, MCL, like the injuries in soccer are wild. But he does a lot of stuff where it's making sure your knees go over your toes, putting pressure through your knees, like walking backwards, pulling sleds and stuff like that, to strengthen your knees so that you haven't got these degenerative issues. And this guy, Knees Over Toes Guy, when he was 20, he was a basketballer and he had 2 major knee surgeries, basically told you'll never be able to play basketball again. By 23, he was back representing a college because he was doing these things that he was basically like, guys are typically, like the literature says, don't put your knees over your toes because it'll put pressure on your knees, which is bad. The problem is it's coming out now and it's very slow, that putting your knees over your toes and putting that pressure in your knees is a good thing because it actually promotes synovial fluid and blood to the knees. I've been doing it the last 3 months now, and it's crazy. Like my knees feel stronger. Strengthening of the tibialis anterior, which is the shin muscle. That's always forgotten as well. Strengthening the hip flexor. But that sort of stuff, particularly because he's young, if he starts doing it now, that, I mean, could really benefit him,
Right.
particularly with soccer. Like
Right.
the injuries in soccer, it's heartbreaking when you see someone who's like this up and coming prodigy and then out goes their knee and you're like, oh. So I'll link you that stuff because
Thank you.
it's so, yeah, I'm trying to get basically everyone I speak to, I'm like, this guy is legit.
That's cool.
That'll be really, really helpful, hopefully. But is there like a cutoff? Like, is there, in terms of when he's over there, sometimes people are like, oh, if you haven't done it by 19, you're moving back.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's 18, 17, 18, that's the year that they pick up the young soccer players.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because then you just
When
getting
you're old. When you're 19, you're old.
You're old. Yeah. And then if nothing will happen there, like if, I don't know, then he will come here and we'll see. Maybe he will be a lawyer then.
Then you're in trouble. Then you're never winning an argument. That's cool. Wow, that'd be quite an amazing thing to do too, like playing soccer.
Yeah. It's like my mom was so shocked because we are like old tradition, like you have to go to school, you have to go to college, get some job, and and he's like, I'm different and I want to go and you know what? Follow your dream.
And work hard for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's good. What was that like? Because I know, like with my parents, like they were very much the same. Like, you do this because obviously they want the best for you,
Right.
for you. And it's like the thing that I'm going to be struggling with a parent is not being the one that's risk mitigating too much, like go and do this, go and do that. What was it like allowing him to go and just go for soccer? How'd you feel about that?
I was kind of a little prepared because my husband is professional soccer player.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
Used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah. In Poland.
Who do you play in Poland?
In Poland, yes.
Wow.
Before he come here, he actually came to United States to play soccer too.
Really?
Yeah, but it was like over 30 league. So.
Wow. So soccer's so that was probably easier
Yeah.
for you then.
So that I know, and I knew that it's like level of the soccer, like practices, everything is higher there than here. So if you want to be good and if you want to do that, then go there and try yourself, because we also were worried what the level he will be compared to their kids.
Very true.
So he was good here, but how about, it was hard in the beginning, but he get.
So he's a pretty motivated kid.
Yeah.
That's good. And there definitely is a thing with
good.
him being around those people. It'll force him to be so much more motivated.
Yeah. And it's very good experience. Oh my gosh. Yeah, different language and kind of different culture.
And the cool thing
nice.
is, does he travel much at all? Oh, he's probably too young, isn't he? Because that was the thing that I loved about Europe. It's like, I'm just going to hop on a train and go to France for the weekend. He's probably too young for that now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's too young. But we travel like every 3 years. We used to go to Europe, and we go to Austria, like Czech, Poland, and kind of a little bit Europe. So he was traveling, and last time he was what, 16 minus 3, actually 4, 12, 13 years old. He said that like he likes Europe and he likes that he can speak different languages. So
How many languages can he speak?
He speaks 3 languages: English, Polish, Ukrainian. Polish, Ukrainian, similar, but different,
Sort of like Spanish and Portuguese. It
Yes.
sounds the same to someone who doesn't speak it, but
Yeah.
very different.
Yes. And he can understand Russian because it's Slovak language. So,
That's wild.
yeah.
3 languages at 17. That's kind of normal for Europeans. It seems like Europeans, I guess because they're so close, it's like, I think every European I met knew like 3 to 5 languages, which is wild for a Westerner, because
Yeah.
anything else, like I'm learning Spanish now, and people are like, wow, you're learning Spanish? That's incredible. I'm like, not really. I'm like, it's not that crazy. Like, go to Europe. Is he planning on learning more languages, or is it just sort of like, was him learning Ukrainian and Polish just because he grew up with you and your husband?
Right. Yeah. And he learned a little bit Spanish at school. I don't know. So if he will have he will play for some other country, then he will learn the other. So if it will be Germany, then he will learn German.
German's a fascinating one. I want to learn that in high school, but the only thing I knew was Das ist meine Hamburger. I think that's the only thing people remember. If they drop everything, it's like Das ist meine Hamburger. But how many languages do you speak?
English, Russian, Ukrainian, Polish. That's it.
That's it, just 4.
Yeah, but those 3 kind of, especially Russian, Ukrainian. I was born like I was grow up with 2 languages. We had TV, only Russian TV. At school, at home, we speak Ukrainian, but it was kind of natural. Then when I came here to Chicago, when I met my husband, he was talking Polish. I'm Ukrainian, so it was like, okay, Saturday, we speak only Polish.
Oh, you
okay,
that?
yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then how I learned Polish, and he understands everything Ukrainian, like words,
Really?
but he doesn't speak Ukrainian. Like
Interesting.
I don't know, he probably embarrassed of his accent or something. Yeah, when I'm like the word for Ukraine, because it's mixed up, and he will tell me which word in Ukrainian. So, but he would never like speak.
He won't speak it.
Yeah.
That's common because my friend in Australia, she's married to a Brazilian. I've never heard her speak it. She'll like pick up a bunch of words and understand it, but it like I will. To your husband's defense, speaking it's I guess it's like when you learn to sing. You know, like you can do it on your own. You're like, yeah, cool, I'm confident. But then when you do it around people, it's a whole other level of, you know, that fear of judgment. So, and when I'm obviously like with learning Spanish, I'll usually just say to the person, you know, yo estudio español, pero no muy bien, you know, tú hablas español juntos. And once they know I'm studying it, I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can just go in and fuck up. It's fine. And I need to learn how to say, please correct me if I'm wrong. But at the moment, it's like the great thing about Florida is there's so many Mexican joints. So I'm always like, can we go to Mexican today? And they're like, we know you want to practice Spanish. I'm like, yeah. So I can understand where he's coming from but he speaks it with you, not a problem, or like.
Yeah, no, he speaks Polish. I speak Ukrainian. It's like, yeah. That's how we communicate. He knows everything Ukrainian words, so he understands everything,
But
like
there's a hesitance
100%.
to speak to other people.
Yeah.
Interesting. But he's better than you with the Ukrainian.
Yes, in some words. But it's funny. I don't know. Like we have group of people, Ukrainian people, and he will be only one Polish. Everybody starts to speak Polish.
Really?
Yes. And he's like, I understand everything. No, but maybe they want to practice. I have no idea.
There is something real fun about speaking the language you didn't grow up with. Like I swear I must look like some schizophrenic person right now. Like I was in the car yesterday and Stace was talking to Sienna, you know, saying a few things like we're very close. And I'm practicing how would I say that in Spanish while I'm driving, and I'm there going like la casa, like, and because I'm in my head, like while driving safely, of course, I didn't notice I was saying it out loud. Like I'm going cerca de la casa, blah. And Stace like, are you speaking Spanish? And I'm like, oh, how embarrassing! Like, I'm literally there speaking to myself. Yeah, I need someone to practice with. I need a Spanish friend. Every time I see someone who's Spanish now, I'm like, can you like speak Spanish to me as well? Like, I just need practice because hearing it's like reading it, cool. I have that extra time to sort of figure it out. Mm-hmm. But when it's when someone's speaking it to you, you don't realize, even English, like me speaking English, there's moments where I'm thinking like, am I speaking too fast for you? Like, but because it's fascinating learning what your brain is capable of computing in microseconds, that when you're trying to learn a language, all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, can you slow right down? Because my brain really has to figure this out.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I didn't understand what you
Oh,
were
dude,
saying.
that's so normal. Yeah. If you say it, just go, hey, slow down, Blake.
On our meetings,
Yeah.
network marketing. So I was like, oh my gosh, I understand every like third or fourth word, but now it's like I understand everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a relief. Because even with I know the accent, Australian accent. It's funny how even with the accents, I can speak really fast in an Australian accent around Americans. They won't know what I'm saying. Like in 2012, we were in California, and my friend who I was with, he's from Queensland. And Queensland, like, they got a real, like, hey, mate, how you going? Like, it's all like, it's like some of them, and he has that real Aussie accent. And we had, there was a girl visiting, and he and I would just start talking real fast. Like, yeah, man, we're going to this way. Like, you cool, blah, blah, blah. And you could watch her. She's like a puppy dog. Had no idea what we were saying. And I was like, wow. Like, an American can speak really fast. And maybe because we're grown up with American TV, I'm fine picking that up. But in the reverse, it's like even speaking English was a secret language in America. So it makes sense that you didn't know what I was saying, because it's different. We don't roll the R's, which I guess helps your brain compute what's being said. And don't get me wrong. Even Americans still sometimes I'll say something and they're like, huh? But no, you're doing great. Like, it must be real different living in a country where it's not your base language.
It was in the beginning very hard.
How much English did you know when you first moved here?
I started preparing for America probably like a year.
Wow, only a year.
But it was like really, I don't know, basic. And when people start to talk to me in the store, I remember I was like processing so long, then it was easier for me said I don't understand it. Because I was like, they asked me and I'm like, okay, I have to answer and like put all those words in my brain before I say. But it was like, nope, I don't speak English. It was
That's what
easier.
you say.
Yeah, it was easier, yeah. But it was hard.
Yeah. I think most people are, I wish that most people would speak learn a language in their adulthood. I think if everyone learnt it, they'd become more patient. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing that's real beautiful about learning Spanish for me. I'm like, even with like Sienna, now I'm like, oh, this is why it takes babies so long to learn. At least I can learn because it's like, all right, this in English is this in Spanish. Imagine like in a baby's brain, they don't even have this in English.
Right.
They're like, huh? Like, what is mom and dad saying to me? Like, what's this thing coming out of their mouth? Like, that's such a thing we forget about.
Right.
That I'm like, okay, now like, hopefully I can communicate better to Sienna, but we will see. I want her to learn Spanish so that her and I can like speak Spanish and Stacey has no idea what we're saying. That's my goal. Just learn the secret language. But yeah, no, that's fun. But cool. That's still 1:20.
Yeah.
Time's flying.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, for anyone who's still listening, do you have like social media? What's your
I do.
Yeah?
I do Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook? What is it so people can follow you? Because guys, get hydration. This vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, just make your life better. What's your Instagram?
Yes. Instagram, Lidiya _UKR_USA.
UK USA.
UKR, like Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine USA.
USA.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have it in the description as well. And are you putting out like little tips as well and stuff like that?
I have their videos, about products and
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that'd be like, all this stuff is so fascinating that if you just gave more tips, I think people would be like, wow, okay, I'm going to engage with you more because there's so many more. Like, I knew there was layers to this stuff, but there's layers on layers on layers. And if we can, if you can just share that. I mean, I think I've got you on Instagram.
Yes, we are friends.
Yes, we're friends. Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
That was fun. And you're the first guest.
Yes?
Yes, you're the first guest.
Oh, thank you.
Big
Thank
props.
you.
All right, guys. See you later.
See you.
That was fun.
Oh my
Does
gosh.
it feel like you come out of a
Yes,
vortex?
yeah.